All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the new hire training call for Samsung Retail Experts. Today I'm going to lead you through some of the key activities that you're going to need to know how to do in order to complete your job and the tasks that you will be required of you for the Samsung Retail Expert position here at Crossmark. Today's agenda includes a general overview of the position, as well as how to receive training and other information in order to be the best you can be at your job, followed by a look at the sales plans that we use, and we'll follow up with how to report and success stories and how to even have success stories in general. And at the end, I'll have some time for some questions and answers. So, a general overview of the Samsung Retail Expert. You're in the store to help correct tagging issues, which is maybe the store, you go in the store and the product doesn't have a price tag, the price tag is wrong, the price tag is dirty or worn and needs to be replaced, so that would be correcting a tagging issue. Correcting any out of stocks, that's whenever there's no box stock on the store shelf. It's empty. So going in the back room, working with store personnel to get more product placed out on the shelves. Correcting any display functionality issues. So that would be if you walk into the store and the TV isn't turned on, or the tablets aren't running the demo mode, which then goes into the next thing, and that's placing displays in demo mode. And so that would be also correcting a functionality issue. Pack out of additional products. That would be, let's say there's already two Blu-ray players on the store shelf, but it can actually hold 10. So you find 8 more in the back room, and so you're able to pack out that shelf and fill it up. Correcting any phantom inventory. Phantom inventory is when the store system shows that there is product in inventory when in reality there is not. So, for instance, let's say the store has 6. The store system shows there's 6 products on the shelf, Blu-ray players. In reality, there's actually none. So working with store personnel to zero that out in order to get some more on order. And then, again, assisted selling or other things, educating and dusting and cleaning. Probably, although it's at the end of this statement and description, it's probably the most important part of that, and that is dusting and cleaning. And we'll go over that a little later in our training. The product categories that you'll be covering are home entertainment, which includes TVs, Blu-ray players, soundbars, home theater systems. IT, information technology, which is laptops, tablets, monitors, and printers. Home appliance, and that's just your washer, dryer, stove, range, dishwasher, microwave, things like that. And those are, we will be covering home appliance in more stores as time goes on. So our work week is Wednesday through Sunday. Those are the days that you need to be working in retail. There may be times when that changes, but those would be a special one-off case. But you need to be working in retail Wednesday through Sunday. Mondays and Tuesdays are set aside for you to catch up on administrative tasks at home or things like that, but you don't need to be in retail on those days. The dress code for all retailers except for Best Buy, you need to wear your blue Samsung polo, and that should be tucked in so we look presentable. And you can either wear khaki, blue, or black dress pants. Now, professional closed-toed shoes are required, and your Samsung name tag and lanyard are required as well. Now, if you're working in Best Buy, you need to be wearing your white Crossmark polo, and that also needs to be tucked in, and you may only wear black dress slacks for that. And again, professional closed-toed shoes and your Samsung name tag lanyard. Again, we just want to make sure that we can be identified as helpful and who we are, as well as looking presentable at the same time. Now, you will be shipped 2 polos, and those come from our Plano office, and as well as the name tag and lanyard also comes from the Plano office. Your toolkits, which are seen here on the slide, the maintenance supply kit, the cleaning kit, the residue removal kit, the tool kit, and the appliance kit. Those all ship from Michigan. So you should receive, if you've received one and not the other, don't freak out because they both ship from different places. If you haven't, after a while, if you've not received one or both of them, please contact your territory manager and they can find out what's going on. And they can see if they can get you that stuff shipped out. So that was a general overview of the task of the Samsung Retail Expert. Now, you do have some training that's available to you in order to help you to understand your role even more. And some of this training is required. To access the training, you go to crossmark.com. In the top right corner, you click on Crossmark Connect, and then you click on My Training, Dedicated Teams, Samsung, because that's the dedicated team that we support. I'm new, and then you would take the hour and 45-minute I'm new to Crossmark. Now this module just gives you an overview of Crossmark and the company itself, as well as some of the other services that we provide our clients. You would want to log back in and click on I'm returning, and then you would select the Samsung Basics. And that's a 45-minute module, and at the end of that, that has a test your knowledge for CE certification 101, which is required. Consumer Electronic 101 certification is required to be taken and completed and passed within the 7 days of being hired. So you need to complete this rather quickly. Your territory manager will have the link for you to be able to access this certification. And this CE certification just gives you the knowledge you need to be able to do your job. Different connections, different types of tools that you'll be using, things like that. Outside of these required trainings, the other required training is the Best Buy training, which is a 2-hour module, and it's broken into 3 of those. It's still 2 hours long, the bronze, the general, the bronze, and silver. And then there's a knowledge check after each one of those 3 modules. And you'll need to complete that as well. Outside of this training, every 2 weeks, there's a National Samsung Retail Expert Conference call, and that's every other Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. You will be receiving an email ahead of time giving you the details of the call-in number and information regarding that. So make sure that you're checking your email daily. Anyway, you should be checking your email daily anyways, but make sure you look out for those. So, sales plans. This is a tool that you're going to be using in every single store visit. We have 5 general types of sales plans. We have the continuity, which doesn't change very much. We have priority, which changes rather frequently and is broken into 3 tiers. Tier 1 is every week, Tier 2 is every 2 weeks, and Tier 3 is once a month. We have incremental or supplemental plans, and those are if a priority is added after the regular priority plan has gone into effect, we can go ahead and create a sort of a supplemental plan for that. There's also the admin project, and that's where you'd report time for emails or things like that, as well as training time on the training project. The 2 projects that you will be seeing the most that you will use on every store visit are the continuity and priority sales plan. So I'm going to spend some time going over those 2 types of sales plans, starting with the continuity sales plan. The continuity sales plan is for Mass and Club, which Mass and Club is Walmart, Target, Sam's, BJ's, and Costco. It's a view only, meaning you'll need to print off the 2 attachments, and those are the store call activity log and the store call time log. And those I'm going to go over in just a moment. The activities involved in the continuity sales plan are your general shelf maintenance that I went over a little earlier on the overview slide. But before I get ahead of myself, the continuity sales plan is a view only, meaning you don't need to print it out. You just need to make sure that you have the 2 attachments, the call log, the activity log, and the time log, which again I'll go over in a moment. The pilot continuity calls, those are a print. So if it's a pilot, and it would say pilot in the title, if it's a pilot store, you will need to print out the continuity sales plan. So the activities that are involved in continuity are correcting tagging issues, correcting in functionality or demo things, placing TVs, soundbars, or tablets into store demo mode, or correcting any functionality. Maybe the sound doesn't work on the soundbar, that would be correcting functionality. Ensuring that they're clean and dust-free. Now let me stop right here and reiterate this for a moment. We've all been to retail stores that seem dirty or dusty. It's a pretty dusty environment, and it makes it sort of a really undesirable shopping experience if the tablet has smudges all over it, or the TV you can see a layer of dust on the top of it. So our job is on every store visit to dust and clean the very first thing. That should be the first activity that you do whenever you start your store call. And you've been provided enough materials to adequately do this job, so make sure that all TVs, tablets, box stock is all clean and dust-free, and just looks really, really presentable. Making sure that the Samsung products are on display, and assisting with any, store phantom inventory, things like that. Now, like I said, this sales plan does stay the same, and your new hire kit will come with a tear pad of store call activity logs and time logs, so you won't have to print them out. But until then, until you get that tear pad, you will need to print those out. But the two attachments that we're going to go over is the store call activity log and the store call time log. Here is a copy of the store call activity log. You can see it's broken into 4 sections, which I'm going to go over here in just a second. As you work the store, you want to log how many activities that you do, and this tracker is a helpful way to be able to report these activities back in the sales track later on. So this activity tracker can be used in any retailer. You will use this sheet for multiple visits for each location. So you can see here we can use this for 2 visits in one store. So keep 1 log per store. The store activity log, again, broken into 4 sections. The status codes for the condition of the display are up there in green. In the red section, we have product category codes. Codes 10 and up are for home appliance only. Activity types are there in purple. This is what action that you're performing in the store. And the blue section, action taken, this is what you actually did in each category during your visit. So now I'm going to zoom in and you can see a larger view of this. You can see the 4 sections there. And now I'm going to go section by section and how we fill it out. So this is the action type here in the purple. And I've already gone over these twice now, the different types of activities that you will be completing on the continuity visit, the tagging issues, the out-of-stocks, functionality issues, displays, and things like that. You'll see here that number question 5, what is the status of the display? That's from the status section in the green section above. So we'll come back to that in just a moment. Let's look at how we would complete the activity tracker. You will fill in the information at the top in the action taken section here in blue. And then you work each category across. So I'm going to start over here with televisions. I walked in and there were 3 TVs in the store that did not have price tags on them. And so I worked with the store personnel and was able to get price tags printed. So I put a 3 in that box. Now keep working down. Also, there were 6 TVs that were not turned on and not in demo mode. So I was able to turn them on and place them in demo mode. And we'll get to the statuses in just a moment. So I didn't do anything else with TVs today. So I'm just going to keep moving across. I didn't do anything with Blu-ray players today either, so continue moving across and down. I was able to correct 2 out of stock with the sound bars, and so I put a 2 in that box. So as you can see, you just continue to work across and down. If an item isn't, and here's where I'll stress the importance of getting items on display. If an item isn't on display, it will have lower sales than an item on display. Customers want to be able to interact and touch the product. Now, you only need to report the categories that you have activity on. If the store only carries TVs and you don't perform action on the TVs, then you won't need to report anything. You would just need to leave that column blank. So here's the green section, the functionality. And as you can see, what is the status of the display? So I used the code from above, fix. So when I walked in, the TV was not functioning correctly, but I was able to fix it. So I would just write fix down there in the box. Now the sound bars, when I arrived in the store, there wasn't any sound. So I was working on it, and then I realized that there was no power, hence probably why there was no sound. So I wasn't able to fix it, but I did notify store personnel that we needed to get power run over there. So again, you would get the display status codes from the green section in the top left corner. And you can have multiple codes per section. At the bottom of the activity tracker, you will have some space to leave comments, and that space is for you to make any special notes about things happening in the store, so that you can reference them again on a future visit. And the other attachment that you will use in the continuity visit is the store called Time Log. Now, this can be used for multiple retailers. It's not retailer specific like the activity log. And you can see that there's a lot of space there. Let me reiterate or let me go over something really quick here. Now, the time that you enter here does not have to be exact. It just gives us an idea of how much time you're spending in the store on each activity. Just enter the basic, so to fill this out, enter the basic information at the top, the date, the store, and the store number. And then enter the times. How much time did you spend on display? 15 minutes. How much time did you spend on selling? None. How much did you spend on pricing? 20 minutes. And you simply enter the amount of minutes that you spend on each category, activity. If you're unsure, I've gone over the activities 3 times now. If you're still unsure, there's a description at the bottom of the form that gives you a definition of each category or each activity type. So you can always reference that. And please note, over to the left-hand side, you'll see a queue, and you see numbers listed next to the activities. Those correspond with the questions in sales track. So whenever you're going to be entering this time in the sales track, you'll need to, for question 17, you would enter 15. For question 18, you would enter 10. So it's just to help reference those. Let me reiterate again, time does not have to be exact. Again, we just want to get an idea of how much time you're spending on each activity in the store. And you can print 1 page per rep, and you've got 34 slots there, so you can do up to 34 store visits per sheet. Now, once you fill out those 2 attachments and you finish your store visit, you'll go home and you will use Sales Track to enter in the data and enter in the activity that you have performed that day. And so all continuity sales plans are a looping sales plan. And you'll pull up Sales Track for this project, and you'll get to question number 4, and it'll say enter the code of the product category you need to report. So if you'll remember, back to the store call activity log, they have the codes in that dark blue box at the top. Those are the codes that you need to enter here. So it's very important that you enter the category code correctly, as a mistype will provide useless information and we won't know what you're talking about. So it's important that you get the code right from that form and make sure that you transcribe it and enter it correctly. So I'm going to start with this store visit, and PD's is 2013-0001. Now I would enter that in the box, and then I want to hit next. I don't want to hit continue because that's going to give an error message. So always click next. It'll take me to the next question, which is going to ask me how many tagging issues I was able to correct. So using that store activity log, I simply look at the number in the box and enter it in here. I just keep doing that all the way down, and then it's going to ask me, do I have any other product categories that I need to report? I'd say yes, and I would go back, and it's going to loop me right back up to question number 4, where I'll enter in, if you'll recall, I had some sound bars that I was able to work with from my store call activity log. So I would enter 2013-0003 and just keep working through there. Now, if you walk into a store, if you would do this for each category that you have had activity in that you need to report on it. If you walk into the store and it's perfect and doesn't need any corrective action or anything that you did, then you'd need to use the bypass code, which is 80 00000 to loop through each survey, the survey. That would be your category code, and then you would just do 0 at each of the blanks there to loop through that. So that's the continuity sales plan. And that will be used in every store. The priority sales plan is the other one that will be used in along with every store visit. The priority sales plan is a print sales plan, so you need to print it out and then print out any attachments. On the front page, it will give you a list of the attachments and whether they're view only. Print one per store, meaning you print one for every store that you go to, usually because you're going to leave it at the store or use it while at the store. Or print one per rep, meaning print one just for yourself and you carry it to each store. But it'll give you that information on the front page of the sales plan. Key activities that you're going to be performing on the priority sales plan, and these change even from week to week and definitely from month to month. But activities such as getting product on the sales floor. Maybe a new Blu-ray player has come out, and we need to make sure that that's displayed on the sales floor. Or getting new signage. There, may be a promotional signage that needs to be placed, and making sure that that's hung correctly or out on the floor. As well as making sure items that are on display are in compliance. They're running, they're working. So, and these are specific to certain models. Now, an audit requires no action. It would be simply to assess the condition of, is this on display or not. 99% of our questions are not audit questions, and thus require us to take action. Working with store personnel to get the item on display. Working with store personnel to get the signage placed, things like that. You will have different attachments that give you either more information or help you to complete data collection, as well as store lists, which I'm going to go over here in just a little bit. Now, photos are required, and whenever you take a photo, it needs to include the price tag as well as the item. And photos are really important because it allows us to see what's going on in the field. And I will also go over the pricing report in a little later too. Now, incremental and supplemental plans are projects that are loaded after the regular plans have been loaded. And the front page of those projects will either state if it's a revisit, meaning you need to go back If you've already worked that store for the month, you would need to go back and visit it again, or if it's not a revisit, and you would just need to work that store next time you're in there. Don't make a special trip back out there. So let's look at some of the attachments and plans that you'll be using in conjunction with the priority sales plan. Here's the pricing report, and this is simply checking to see if prices are correct on the store shelf. This is how the whole sheet will look, and I'll zoom in and I'll show you how to fill it out. So you would want to print this one per store because you're going to be using it at each store, and you can't use store 15 at store 28 because you've used it up. So it lists the product category, the Blu-ray, soundbar, whatnot, the model number, and the item description. Then you've got an item number. That's the store item number and can be very useful whenever, if you can't find a product, that way you can know, you can have them type that into the store system and it can give you information about the product, maybe where it is in the back room or whatnot. And then the price. This is what the price should be based on the dates listed above. So if you visit the store between those dates, the item should be priced at this price, at or below. If it's below, it's not an issue. If it's above, it's incorrect. So we're going to start up here with the 57 Blu-ray player. It's supposed to be at $98.87. Does the store stock this model? Yes, it does. So I would place an X there. And the price was correct. It was at $98.87 or below. So I'll place an X there. Move on down to the next line. The 59C Blu-ray player is a $108.88. The store does stock this. Upon arrival, the price was incorrect. Well, I got with store personnel and was able to get a new price tag printed, and so I placed a 1 in that box. Move on down to the soundbar. Now the store doesn't stock this model, so I just keep on moving down. The Tab 2 7-inch, the store does stock this model, but and the price is incorrect. But the manager had already gone to lunch, and I could not, after searching for a while, I could not find anyone else that was able to print off a price tag for me. So I have to then leave a description over there to the side why I was unable to correct the price. So, and you just simply keep working that all the way down till you get to the bottom. When you get to the bottom, you total those columns up. So 5, 3, and 1 are the numbers that you would enter into sales track when it asks about the pricing. So I think that's very, very simple, straightforward. Now, whenever you conduct a sales call or a store visit, you need to bring all of the tools with you into the store. This way you don't have to go back out to your car and waste time. Just bring it all in with you whenever you start your store visit. The priority plan will ask you for time, how much time it took you to complete your store visit. And you would need to enter 1 minute for that project because all time should be reported on the continuity sales call. You would need to add up your actual time and the time that it took you to report your store visit and total all of that and put it in the continuity call for that store. So, for example, if it took you 60 minutes in the store and when you got home that night, you were entering it into sales track, it took you 10 minutes, you would need to enter 70 minutes on the continuity plan for that store and 1 minute on the priority plan for that store. Only continuity sales plans in the pilot markets, you will need to again print the sales plan itself. Walmart, Target, and the club stores as well as HA stores, their continuity thing is view only. So, and then we went over the different types of prints and all the tools required. Priority sales plan, that is a print sales plan, and then print all the required attachments listed there on the front page. We'll talk about store list in just a moment, and then all files are usually in a PDF, and sometimes accompanied by an Excel file. But if you have any trouble opening those, talk with your territory manager. Now, let's talk a little bit about scheduling. All new sales plans will be visible on Saturday, with the exception the pilot projects, DIY, Office Superstore, regional stores, and Big Box or Sears, and that's why it will be visible on Tuesdays. That's just how the system works. But everything else will be visible on Saturdays, so you'll be able to schedule those then. Now, you need to schedule all visits in one. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say that you're going to go to Sam's Club 6507, so you'll need to take all of the sales plans with you when you go to that store, and you'll need to schedule all of them when you go to that store, meaning you'll need to take the continuity sales plan, the priority sales plan, the surveillance sales plan, the success story sales plan, and any pertinent attachments with you whenever you visit that store, as well as any supplemental plans that may have come along. So, again, scheduling all of those during the one visit to that store and taking all of them with you. It's a good idea to look through your priority sales plan before you visit, as things do change rather often. So it's good to sort of have in mind what's going on in there, so that you're not, in case you need to do something special before your visit. And then don't forget that all projects should be reported same day. So you go work the store that day, when you come home you need to report them. Let's look at store lists. Store lists are accompanied on the priority sales plan. So to access them, they'll just be in the attachments of the sales plan. Using the columns and headings, find your territory manager and then look at the store list numbers, or the store numbers listed there, and you'll be able to find the column with your name on it. Now, coverage does change frequently, so it's always best to rely on the store number column when looking for stores, as that never changes, whereas your name might not be on it this month or whatnot. So here's what they look like listed down here at the bottom. You've got the store number, territory manager, the retail expert, city, and the state. And then you've got the products that are listed on a store list. Now, a store list, that is an item that is not all products are carried in every single store. So the sales plan or the store list will help you to identify which products are supposed to be in that store, and so you won't have to waste time looking for a product that you're never going to find because it's not even sold in that store. So we can look down here at Walmart 2424, and we see that the DV150, the Galaxy Note, and the 365 laptop are all carried in that store. The 300 laptop is not carried, so we won't find that in that store. 6480, none of these items are carried. So, again, we wouldn't need to waste our time looking for those because they're not carried in that store. Let's look at two examples. So we go in and the Blu-ray player is not listed on the store list for this location. There's no X in that box. But we found one on the store shelf. So even though the product is on the store shelf, it's not listed on the store list, so you would need to answer no. The question would ask, is this store on the Blu-ray player store list? You would need to answer no. Because the question asked if it was on the store list, not if the product was on the store shelf. So one reason this might happen is because someone bought that Blu-ray player at another store and then returned it to this one, and so they've obviously got to sell through the product. But since it's not on the store list, we would need to answer no. Now the opposite is also true. So the Blu-ray player is listed on the store list for this location, but after we search the back room and the sales floor, we can't find the Blu-ray player. So you would still need to answer yes, because it's definitely listed there on the store list, and then report the item status, meaning out of stock or on the store shelf, functional, and it would prompt you with an appropriate response there. So I think in this situation, you get store personnel to check in the system the on-hand and maybe need to zero that out or find those. But again, you would need to answer yes, it's on the list, because it's definitely on the list, and then bring forward, then it would go on to the status. A few things to remember and some terms. What is a store list? It's a list used to identify which stores carry a certain item. We do an error reporting every week, and there are two terms that we use, and that's a unicorn, which is an imaginary creature. So whenever an SRE reports that a product is in the store or on the store list, whenever it's not even listed to be in that store, so that would be an imaginary product. It's not sold in that store, so thus it shouldn't even be there. So that would be a unicorn. And the opposite, the data input store list error, whenever a rep in the field reports that the product is not on the store list, even though the product is. So, again, answering store list questions can be done even before you enter the store. Answering the status of the item on the store list has to be done at the store. So keep that in mind whenever you are utilizing store lists, and I think that you will have no problem with that. Other projects that are, again, all of these other projects are loaded to your location or your employee ID. The administrative project, this is where you report time for scheduling your store visits, time you spend on emails to your supervisor or to other correspondents, conference calls, or if you spend time with help desk or field support, you'd report that time on the admin project as well. The training project, time that you spend on the Crossmark Connect page doing any training, as well as from time to time the Samsung Product Support Network will put out some modules to give you some information and specs about new products that are launching, so that you know the features of a new tablet that's coming out or a new TV. So you would report that time in there as well, and you'd obviously receive information when those are available. And a missing parts project, that's obviously if you've got damage or missing parts out in retail, you can use that project to report that and get some of those orders to fix any of those things. And the success story project, you can report up to one success story each day. And I'm going to go over success stories right now. So the important reps who have success out in the field have two things. Number one, they have built a relationship with store personnel. And relationships are key. You will never be able to build incremental or extra displays without building a relationship first with store personnel. They just won't let you do anything. Now, the other thing they need is to be able to think outside the box and think of new and creative ways to be able to merchandise products. So, whenever you're in the store, your attitude and approach should be, let me help you sell more Samsung products. And we can never have enough success stories reported. So what does it take to report a success story? You tell the story of what happened. Give the retailer the location and the city and state as well as your name, and include a photo. We get so many success stories that are really, really great, but there's no photo included, so we can't use those success stories as readily as we can the ones with the photos. So always include a photo with that. Here's an example of a success story listed here below. So Territory Manager Ben Beagle submitted this display success from SRE Stephen Cherry in Walmart 5040 in Carnegie, Pennsylvania. So just in time for tax season, Stephen worked with store personnel to build this laser printer end cap. Included toner, and so it was right there in the office supply section. so that customers could have everything they needed in order to print out their tax forms. So again, thinking outside the box and merchandising product maybe where it, could be picked up and sold a lot easier right there next to the tax forms. Here are two more examples of success stories. This one from Houston, from Chris Rosella. Chris entered the store. His mission was to install the S Pen. All the electronics personnel was on vacation, so he worked with another store employee, and he actually removed a competitor's display unit and was able to get the Galaxy Pen on display with the S Pen. So that was his job. He got that done. But he decided he wasn't going to stop there. He was able to get two other Galaxy tablets on display. So he completed his call, and he had 3 tablets on display and priced correctly. So, again, thinking outside the box or going above and beyond what is even required. Down here at the bottom, you'll see this success story from Cindy Barger in Indianapolis. Built a huge TV pallet down there. She found out that her store had received a large number of TVs, so she worked with store personnel to get them all onto the floor, building this huge bulk stack. It's, I think, about 4 pallets wide, probably over about 40 TVs in there. So y'all are doing some really great work out there for Samsung, and we definitely want to know about it. So report it through the Daily Success Story project. You only get one of those a day. It's reoccurring. So if you've already, you have other success stories that you want to report, you can do that easily. Just simply email it to your supervisor with the picture and the story that goes behind it, and the location number and the city and state, and they'll pass that along to us. Like I said, we can never have enough. And try to take a before and after photo, but definitely an after photo. Now, although the example shown of this huge TV pallet with probably over 40 TVs on it, all successes are important. Don't just think that you have to build a huge TV pallet in order to be able to report it. Samsung wants to know about all of our successes, no matter what the size is. So, there is that. Now, there'll be some time for some question and answer session. If you do have any questions, please contact your territory manager, and they will be happy to fill you in on any details that you need to know about. Thank you so much for your participation in today's call. If you would, email your territory manager. That way you can be loaded to the training project in order to be paid for today's training. Just send them your name and that you've completed the training. You will also need to give them your employee ID number so they can get you loaded into that project and for the amount of time for today's call. Thank you so much for all that you're doing out there and all that you will do. Again, Samsung is the #1 electronics brand in the world because of the efforts that you do every day. They are really, really excited about our success and look forward to where we're going to take the brand. So thank you so much, and we look forward to working with you.